The United States entered World War II in 1941, and women answered the nation's call for workers.
Women's hands, thousands of them, skillful, patient, and accurate, are assembling parts precisely dimensioned, without which no bomber could fly, and without which no mechanized land unit could move.
By the 1950s, most women had returned to their pre-war domestic roles, and an organized movement did not resurface until the 60s. Supporters of the Equal Rights Amendment, which calls for equal treatment of women and men under the law, succeeded in convincing Congress to pass the amendment in 1972. However, the ERA fell just short of ratification. Founded in 1966, the National Organization for Women works to eliminate discrimination against women. Its charter includes promoting equal pay for equal work, supporting reproductive choices, and helping women campaign for political office. Through the vision and perseverance of early feminists, women of today hold many roles traditionally available only to men.
In the 1950s and 60s, more and more women began to work outside their homes and entered into the business world. As women joined the workforce, they became increasingly aware of their unequal economic and social status. Women who were homemakers, many with a college education, began to articulate their lack of personal fulfillment. Although many women worked, in 1963, the average woman only made 63% of what the average man with the same profession earned. During the early 1960s, the civil rights movement gathered momentum, aided by a new anti-racist legislation, and reached major goal in 1964 with the passage of the Civil Rights Act. Many feminists interpreted the ban on racial discrimination established by the Civil Rights Act to apply to gender discrimination as well. The student movement was also at its height in the 1960s, leading many younger citizens to question traditional social values and to protest against American military involvement in Vietnam. Feminist groups followed the examples set by these movements, adopting the techniques of consciousness raising, protest demonstrations, and political lobbying in order to further their own agenda.
An influential feminist leader was Betty Friedan. In 1963, she published a book called The Feminist Mystique, which detailed the frustrating lives of countless American women who were expected to find fulfillment, primarily through the achievements of husbands and children, and encouraged women to seek new roles and responsibilities. After her book was published, she, along with 27 other professional women, founded the National Organization for Women, also known as NOW. NOW was founded in 1966 and became increasingly popular. By 1970, about 15,000 women had joined the organization, which was an official group that represented and campaigned for women's concerns. The purpose of NOW is to take action to bring women into full participation of the mainstream of American society now, exercising all the privileges and responsibilities thereof in truly equal partnership with men. Some other leaders of this organization were Bella Abzug, Shirley Chisholm, and Gloria Steinem. Abzug was a fighter for justice and peace, equal rights, human dignity, environmental integrity, and sustainable development. Chisholm was the first African-American woman to run for president, and she also ran for a congressional seat. Steinem was a major feminist leader in late 1960s. In 1971, she co-founded Mrs. Magazine, where she serves as a contributing editor today. Also in 1971, she was co-convener of the National Women's Political Caucus, and in 1972 helped found the Ms. Foundation for Women, which raises funds to assist underprivileged girls and women. She is a founding member of the Coalition of Labor Union Women.
Many women's groups campaigned for more rights, such as equal rights and against discrimination based on sex. Some of the important accomplishments by these groups included the following: the Equal Pay Act, Title VII of the Civil Rights Act, No-Fault Divorce Law, Title IX of the Education Amendments, Roe v. Wade and Doe v. Bolton, Cleveland Board of Education v. Lafleur, Taylor v. Louisiana, and Craig v. Boren. The Equal Pay Act promised equal pay for the same work, regardless of sex, age, etc. The Civil Rights Act prohibited employment discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, national origin, and sex. The No-Fault Divorce Law allowed divorce with mutual consent. Title IX of the Education Amendments prohibits sex discrimination in all aspects of education. Roe v. Wade and Doe v. Bolton protected women's right to terminate an early pregnancy, thus making abortion legal in the United States. Cleveland Board of Education v. Lafleur determined that it was illegal to force pregnant women to take maternity leave. Taylor v. Louisiana denied states the right to exclude women from juries, and Craig v. Boren established a new set of standards for reviewing laws that treat men and women differently. In the early 1970s, feminist leaders established a detailed program of proposed legal reforms. And in 1975, the National Women's Agenda was presented to President Gerald Ford, state governors, and members of Congress. In 1977, feminists organized a National Women's Conference in Houston, where they drafted an action plan that included 26 resolutions. The plan was later distributed to government officials to remind them of their responsibility to female constituents. Now and the newly organized National Women's Political Caucus work to influence politicians and legislators while continuing their effort to keep women's issues prominent in the media. By the mid-1970s, the feminist groups had gained the rights they fought for the past 15 years. Although the movement gradually declined, their accomplishments live on and have made a lasting impact on women in society today.